Planet 4546b. Bases. A lovely combination as far as I'm concerned, and combine them on this channel we certainly have. From a base that covers every biome, to a base that stretches all the way to the very edge of the void, we have conquered the depth, and we have conquered the width. But there was one place in the game that has, up till this point, remained unconquered, and that is the sky. You all knew this was coming. Today, we will be building the world's tallest base all the way up to what should be the upper edge of the sky that in theory should exist at 8,192 meters above point 0 of the map, which is in the safe shallows. Now doing this will certainly demand a lot of effort, a ton of vertical connectors, suffering through a ton of lag, and also a bit of creativity. So with that, why don't we just jump right into it? Now, as soon as I jumped into a new world, I realized the first issue. How on earth are we going to build straight up? Building sideways is easy, building down is easy, but how do you build up? Now yes, there is technically the way of doing this weird kind of crooked staircase of bases that lets you always get up a level and build a new level of the vertical connectors, but this way takes absolutely forever. And to be honest, there's no way we would be making any kind of progress. I needed something new, and then I remembered that the custom water level mod exists. Okay, so we can raise the water level to 10,000, and then we can kind of build up that way. But there is a small problem with this, and that's that the custom water level does not work with Subnautica 2.0 and Beppin X. In fact, to get it to work, we need to downgrade down to Legacy. Now that's not a big issue, but it will cause some problems down the line. Alright, with the strategy in place, I got to work. First, of course, I placed down the very bottom piece in the safe shallows with a beacon that would for us signify ground level. The reason we can't just use the life pod is because it will begin to float up as we fill the world with water, so it wouldn't provide accurate measurement. Now this has proven to be quite the tricky build, because another quirk of the custom water level mod is that you cannot swim up with spacebar. That's right, you have to swim up by either looking up and holding W, or looking down and holding S on your keyboard. A minor inconvenience, sure, but coupled with the fact that you also have to always open your PDA and click the piece to build it, it was certainly slowing down the process. Now to introduce some kind of structure, I decided that every 1,000 meters, I would build a small station, kind of like a lookout to see where we are and get a bit of a view of our surroundings. Of course, utilizing the insta-build command and speeding up the game helped a little bit, and so before long I was at the 1,000 meter mark. Here I built a little observatory, and then essentially just continued my way upwards. You can also see the life pod having already ascended like 1,000 meters above where I was at. It didn't take me long to reach the 2,000 meter mark. At this point, the aurora becomes almost invisible, you can only see it under certain angles. And I also tried using the print biome command, which would still display safe shallows. Interestingly enough, this is something that wouldn't really change as we go up, compared to when we went out into the void, where it changed very drastically and very quickly. I also encountered this strange phenomenon. Whenever there was an eclipse of the moon that circles the planet, you would see this strange glow coming from below you, and I also discovered this method of building which was relatively fast, and it kind of involved basically crawling up the vertical connector and just placing the next one down right in front of it. Now yes, doing this for hours at a time is not exactly fun, but it was quite effective. I reached the 3,000 meter mark, and as usual built a base, and then the 4,000 meter mark. Again, I'm kind of skipping you past a lot of this because nothing really exciting was happening. Since I had to fog off for most of the time, I was just stuck in this brownish void. And in case you're curious about how many connectors it takes to connect these pieces, I kind of guesstimated while building that one is about 4 meters vertically. Now, plugging that into a calculator gives you about 250 vertical connectors per 1,000 meters, and in total probably somewhere just over 2,000 connectors for the entire thing. And so the build continued with the life pod ever getting away from me up top. I reached the 5,000 meter mark, and at this point you can see the mask shaking quite violently, and I was also running into another problem, the slowly but surely increasing lag. Now, I was kind of worried since I still had quite the ways to go, and I was really scared it was going to turn it back into the world's longest base situation where the lag was impossible to manage, but onwards I pressed on. Also, you can see that the life pod had stopped ascending at this point because it had reached the 10,000 meter top of the water surface. But before long, I was at the 6,000 meter mark. Things haven't really changed, to be honest with you. The lag was becoming pretty bad. Here you can see the massive FPS drops I'm taking every time I place a new vertical connector. This was really slowing it down for the last couple thousand meters, but luckily I still found it manageable, especially once I bumped the game settings down to the lowest possible presets. And before you know it, we were at the 7,000 meter mark. The print biome command was still printing safe shallows, which I found quite interesting. And as I made my way towards the 8,000 meter mark, I also noticed this weird square that started to appear at the top of my screen. It was kind of lighter in color than everything else and would make things look really blurry on the inside. Not quite sure what that is. And it did certainly get more prominent the further up I went. Yeah, also the video is not stuck now. It's just a game is. Trying to build some of these X compartments at this point would take like solid 20 seconds of lag before the game actually decided to let me build it. And then we were finally on the last stretch. I reached the 8,192 meter mark, went a little bit past, and boom, got teleported right back into the safe shallows. Here you can also see the monstrosity that the base has become. And so, all that was left now was to do the final touches. Placing down the ladders took probably about 15 minutes because of the absolutely insane lag that you're seeing on the screen right now. And once I got to the top, I had to remove a few pieces to be able to build the very top compartment. But now, let me give you a tour of the world's tallest Subnautica base. Alright, well, let me kind of walk you guys through this thing. It really is something. This is our little entryway down here. As you can see, we're at ground level, or pretty close to it at least. That is where we're going. 8,000 meters up. So let's jump to the first floor. Things have changed. As you can see, ground floor is about 1,000 meters down. This kind of gives you a pretty good perspective of how high up we are. Now, for comparison, the Aurora unexploded should be, just over a kilometer long, I believe. But yeah, we came from down there and we have a very long way to go. And as you can see, the world is already breaking. So this is next floor up. As you can see, 2,000 meters above ground level. At this point, stuff is very broken. You can barely even see the water. Now, the Aurora is down there. Again, you can kind of get a gauge of how high up we are. Whether I enable or disable the fog, it's not going to make any difference. And also, this is the last time we're going to be able to see it, so say goodbye to it because we are leaving it for good. Now, here we are on level 3. As you can see, there's no more Aurora, no more anything. It's just endless sky void, or whatever you want to call it. At 4,000 meters, it's pretty much the exact same thing. This is the 5,000 meter station. Still, same thing. As you can see, we're getting a really lovely sunset from up here, so that's nice at least. At 6,000 meters, things are starting to really shake whenever I'm holding any tools. Yeah, nothing has really changed as far as the view goes. Here we are at the 7,000 meter mark, quite high up, and now you're going to see something really cool. As it turns into night, you see the stars appear behind us. Well, I'm going to go one floor up. So this is, as you can see, the 8,000 meter level, pretty high up, and from here you can actually see at the very top how far the actual edge of this is. So I'm just going to make the very final jump. We're 8,194 meters above where I placed that original beacon. Literally one more base piece above this would just teleport me out. And look at this. I mean, this just looks like we're straight up in space. How cool is this? Now, if you're curious, you can actually build up there. Nothing is really going to stop you. It's just you're never going to be able to reach those buildings. And yeah, print biome also still prints safe shallows. So apparently building into space does not change the biome that you're in. And I suppose that's kind of a reassuring thought. Anyways, guys, before we wrap up, here is a quick flyby of how long the entire base is. Enjoy with some relaxing music. And that brings us to the end of the video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, maybe consider leaving me a like, commenting, or subscribing. All those would be very much appreciated. If you have any other crazy suggestions for what I could build next, or any other stupid challenges I could try, leave those down in the comments as well. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.